to public comments. All comments will be directed to the mayor. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes to comment on topics on agenda items only. Each speaker will be allowed 1 opportunity to speak. Will you please state your name for the record?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, and to the board. I am Margaret Campbell Pruitt, and for the most part, I am speaking on behalf of Lincoln Meadows Community Club, but in other instances, I will be speaking on behalf of myself. I'm going to start with items under new business. And I'd like to say that I'm very happy to see that you've tabled a number of items, especially 7E, because there appeared to be quite a bit of unrest among the board. I would like, though, to once again invite you guys, just as I've done before, and that is for you to understand and implement Robert Rules of Order. Because when you table a discussion, you actually take a vote on it to table, and then you cease discussion. You don't say, let's table, and then continue to rattle on for 15, 20 minutes that you all have done. But I do appreciate the fact that you have, that you do know the term tabling now. Before you did not know that. I'm going to ask also, as we talk about municipal building usage, I noticed that you talked about all of the other little groups, even homeowner associations. I am not a part of a homeowner association, but Lincoln Meadows Community Club is an organization within our development, and I know that at one point in time we wanted to use the community center and they wanted to charge us, and so I'm just really hoping that when we develop that policy, that would be inclusive of the Lincoln Meadows Community Club as well. I want to also talk and ask that you compare, as you talk about policy and who writes policy, I want you to compare the policy that you all were discussing that the board has to approve, opposed to the sanctions and everything that you've given the senior committee in terms of their operation and establishing their policy. Because it was stated that the senior committee is a committee and they can establish their own policy. They can decide who will become members of that committee as well. I don't agree with that, because I know I followed the guidelines. I submitted a letter asking to be a part of the senior committee, and I was ignored totally by your leader that was hand-selected by the mayor. And we were told that she gets to choose who she feels that she can work with. And it seems as if the only people she feels that she can work with, and please forgive me, this isn't racist, but it's just all of the older white senior citizens in the building. And yes, raise your hand if you're a part of the senior committee, you'll see what I'm talking about. But I'm sorry. How many?
3 more.
3 more. Seconds?
Time's up.
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
First of all, we're going to respond to a couple things.
Thank you.
We've had, Ms. Langston has been the senior committee chair going back on the previous administration. So I know that there's a thing saying that I handpicked her. She was appointed under Louis Towers, the former mayor.
But then when you came in, you still have to appoint her. You have to still appoint people. So let's not do that.
Discussion. Okay, you've had your time. Your time is up.
Whoa.
Okay?
I'm going to be respectful of that. So since my time is up, I'm going to sit down and you can cease, because you're not acknowledging that just like each chairperson of all the other committies were appointed
You are
by
out of
him.
order, Ms.
I know I
You are out of
am.
order.
I know that I
That's
am.
2. Now you're out of order. That's 3.
Whoa.
You're out.
So what does that mean? Because I do have one more thing that I really, one more thing I have to say, and that is, our public works need to prepare Lincoln Meadows development. We've only been asking since June of 2014, and it still has not been done. And
tabling it from the meeting tonight where we're voting on it. So there wasn't talking about tabling it during the discussion. They're talking about tabling it during tonight's meeting, so that's exactly what happened. All right, next.
Judy Guest here, and this is not on the agenda, but I would like to take this opportunity.
Yes, be on the agenda item only.
Can thank somebody for something.
You can thank somebody. I'm just saying, you said you were going to talk about something that wasn't on the agenda.
It's my thanks, it's not on the agenda. Trustee Tates and Chief Staufragan, the P.L.A.N group would like to thank you for allowing us to participate in the Parks and Recs Santa Claus Christmas situation and pancake breakfast with Santa at the fire station on Sunday. We'd like to thank you for allowing us there. We'd like to thank Gary Holcomb for printing some stuff for the books. We enjoyed it. We'd like to continue with it. And both events turned out exceptionally well. And we thank you.
Excuse me, but you used to say Trustee Jones. But thank you anyway.
I know what you mean. You're welcome.
Next.
Bernice Brewer on behalf of the Sauk Citizen for Public Awareness. I just want to refer to item 7E as well. I'd like to remind you guys when you're reviewing this in January that the current senior policy does not provide for the senior committee to accept or deny any organization who uses the senior center. The Sauk Village Senior Committee can only recommend policies, not establishment, and not set policies. It is up to you guys to set policies for the village, for the residents of Sauk Village. We also ask that you provide us a written notification as why SRO was not accepted into the senior committee by the senior chairperson who has.
Please stay to agenda items only.
I'm talking about 7E. You guys talked about it and it's on the agenda. That's what I'm talking about. Now you're trying to prevent me. Are you stopping me? Are you stopping me from talking about the 7E? Is that my understanding?
Good time.
No, my time is not up. Wait a minute. I'm not finished. Now, I just want to remind you that the SRO submitted the application for the Senior Center Committee. And we used the center for a year and a half, and all of a sudden, the chairperson decided that we wasn't going to use it anymore. We also were assigned an overseer, not by words heard, to recommend what we do during that time. Now, all of us, and our oldest member is 82, doesn't need an overseer. I think it was over in the 1860s, if I'm not mistaken. So we would like your reason for not accepting the SRO into the senior committee in writing, so we can go further. Because we don't want to prolong this no longer than you do. You discriminated against a class of people. We are offering services to the village, to the residents of Sauk Village, not free of charge. The present senior committee is not responsive to the needs of this village. So therefore, we would like to go in there and run our own program without an overseer. That's my comment.
Thank you. Next.
I got more than 3 minutes. Oh, he's not going to respond to me.
I just wanted to state, because the last 2 residents that came up did talk about the senior center. I did submit revisions for their policy as well as for the senior center policy. I kind of stated that, we just didn't get to it. So we only discussed Parks and Recs and the community center, which I did not change. I didn't make any changes to their actual committee policy. The changes that I submitted were for the center. But I did make suggestions for the senior policy as well as the senior center, but both of those were not reviewed tonight as those items were tabled.
Can we get copies?
I'm assuming that once there's an actual policy in place, it would be public record, but just so you know that this is something that is being revived, I did do suggestions for revision of both, but I guess it's going back to the committee. I was going to address that later because that's 2 residents that spoke about it.
And also, I just want to make sure I make it very clear that any senior has the opportunity to join the senior center. So the senior center is always open for additional seniors. Seniors have the opportunity to join. All right, anyone else? Seeing none, we'll move to reports of officers. Mayor's report. Just want to say, everyone, this is the last meeting of the month, so I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And hope everyone has a fantastic time, a great time with their family. I know we've got some, I think all of our families coming in, so be careful if you see a mob of Hankses sitting over in the corner of our house, because there's going to be, figure out with 10 kids and their boyfriends and girlfriends, and we've got now one with a husband. There's going to be a lot of us, and of course my brother's coming in with his 8 kids, so get ready. We're going to take over Sauk Village. So again, everyone have a happy holiday, and wish you the best. Move to village clerk, Ms. Debbie Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We're going to start with Carol's Cocoa and More. It's Thursday, December 17th in the Municipal Center from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. There will be light refreshments and holiday fun. Food baskets will be distributed to the first 50 Sauk Village families that provide proof of residency. Toys for kids 0 to 12 years old will be distributed while supplies last. I will say that the food drive is going well for this event. We have a lot of people that have donated perishable food items. However, the toy drive is lacking toys. So I challenge everybody in this room to bring a toy tomorrow. I would love you for it. And I'm sure the kids that are 0 to 12 would love you for it as well. And also we have the Share the Warmth won't be starting until after Christmas. We're going to make sure that we have plenty of room in the hallway for the holiday events that are happening on December 17th. And I would like to request that the consent agenda is put on the agenda in January, because last week there was a statement made that the attorney and the mayor lied about the use of the consent agenda. I think that we need to all be on the same page as far as what can and cannot be done on a consent agenda, so I would appreciate if that could be put on the agenda, and if we can have something directly from the attorney stating the use of the consent agenda. And I'd like everybody to encourage everybody to sign up for the free Sauk Village email alerts at www.saukvillage.org. And as the mayor just stated, there will be no meetings throughout the rest of December. And also, finally, I would like to reiterate to those who may not know, the village clerk does not set the agenda. The village clerk posts the agenda according to the direction of the mayor. I do it at the time that the mayor asks me to do, at no less than 48 hours prior to the start of the meeting. All meetings are posted on the website within 48 hours prior to any meeting. As far as Tuesday meetings, you will always see the agendas posted no later than 48 hours prior to the meeting. If you want to know if there's a meeting happening in Sauk Village, please check out our website at www.saukvillage.org. And also, special meetings are often put on the e-blast, which again, you can sign up for your free email alerts at www.saukvillage.org. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. I did have, I noticed there's no executive session. I wanted to update a couple of items of litigation, but I have memos prepared. I'll give them to the clerk, and if she could put them in sealed envelopes and with
Village engineer.
Thank you, Mayor. The deadline for submitting applications for the Railroad Safety and Noise Mitigation Program has passed. According to the village manager, only 10 applications were received out of a total of 34 properties. So even if each applicant utilizes the maximum funding for their property, the fund for the program will still have about $200,000 in it due to the lack of participation. So the village needs to make a decision on how to allocate the remaining funding. Personally, I'd recommend adding a second phase of the program and significantly boosting the amount of money available to each resident that will participate. But we need to discuss this further, quiet zone committee, and come to a decision and make a recommendation for it.
Listen. Can we set up a meeting as soon as possible, since this is our last meeting for the village? We can still have a meeting between now and the end of the year so we can discuss this, so we can probably reevaluate. I do have one question. Did anyone from Candlelight? Did the administrator from Candlelight did?
You know, I have not started reviewing the actual applications with Sherry, because we're waiting on all of them to get in. So, you know, I need to I can't answer that question right now. What we're gonna do is look at everybody's list and see if everybody submitted an application, and then see if they submitted the right application, and then identify who they are.
Okay, because the one from Candlelight would just come from the administrator, whoever is in charge. It wouldn't be from an individual homeowner.
I don't remember that one, just a cursory review, but I can't just determine it by memory, so.
No, so we need to get together and find out when we can have a meeting.
I would think it's just about the amount of money that he says is left, that Candlelight hasn't.
Yeah.
But if you could, I would just suggest that if you could maybe send an email to the committee, we could pick a date, and then if, the village could reach out to Candlelight prior to that date, because if we start a second phase and offer more money, and then Candlelight comes in at the end, since they're, what is it, 125, or
Yeah,
a large chunk of
120.
money, I don't want to use that money, part of the second phase, and then cancel out Candlelight. So if we could kind of get together, and that would give the time to the village to reach out to Candlelight and kind of know more realistically what we're doing.
I'm gonna kind of go out on a limb, and I'm hoping that no one does this, but I'll be available anytime except Friday evening. So if you make it Friday evening, I know you're making it person.
I'm not available Friday evening either.
So any evening besides Friday evening, I'll be available from now to the end of the year.
And the committee get with the village clerk also, because I provided her information. I received something in the mail about being able to plant trees along the CN Railroad, and they were selling the trees at a lower cost. And they can only be purchased to be placed along CN, so you might want to take a look at that also, to see what kind of effect that would have.
Of course, they're indigenous enough. If they're thick enough, or they will work thick, it will work. But then again, if they're deciduous, then what's going to happen when the leaves fall?
Sorry, what?
What's going to happen when the leaves fall if they're deciduous?
I think it's just something to look at.
Oh, okay, because if the leaves...
Feasible, it may not be.
Now, evergreen is fine, but if they're trees and their leaves fall, you don't have the noise
Right.
mitigation.
But you don't have it in summer.
Oh, okay.
Trustee Tate.
Clarification, I thought the deadline, and I'm not sure who's going to answer this, for the noise mitigation was November 3rd. Has that been changed? Has that been updated?
November 30th.
November 30th?
Yes.
Okay. But I heard Mr. Furman say that he has not reviewed anything yet. So it's not postmarked by November 30th, it's still there.
For the first phase, everything had to be in by November 30th.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Move to Village Administrator, Director of Public Safety, J.W. Furman here.
Following up on the noise abatement program by P.L.A.N, it was kind of disappointing because, I haven't reviewed it because Trustee Tate and a bunch of people, I got them December 1st. And I'm surprised, people at the last minute with all the time we're having. So I'm looking forward to having this meeting with Trustee Burton, Trustee Williams, and Jim to try to determine, because of that 10, all the people, if we go strictly by that, may not be qualified. That's why I had said it. I actually got it December 1st. And so, I think it's good to discuss this further because the participation is actually less than 10 as we technicality. If you start knocking people up 5 days. I think I got 5 on December 1st. So I was that's why I kept saying that you guys kept talking about it. Because it's not costing the village any money. We kept mentioning that, and then Trustee Burgess kept mentioning it, and then at the last minute, people come in at the last minute, saying, trying to get come argumentative, which we avoided doing that. With the people up front saying, listen, all we want to do is you just follow the instructions that have provided. They were asking that they thought they were meeting all kinds of stuff. So we do need to have this meeting to determine the way forward. I want to do an update on what we call the Blueprint Partners project. And we talked about that there was a correlation between vacant housing and crime and also our water and our resources. So right now our staff has combined 4 independent vacant housing lists into one master list. The independent list varied from as high as 707 vacant houses to under 400 vacant houses. The new list lists 528 vacant houses in 3 categories, which is very interesting. Vacant with sewer service only, vacant with water service only, vacant with no water or sewer service. Of that number, let me start again. Vacant with sewer service, only 6 houses. Vacant with water services, only 39 houses. Vacant with no water, sewer service, 483 houses. We will continue with the staff to improve the current master list one last time and then start updating information as the information presents itself. You make your own assumption about what happened. We have had quite a run into the village hall for people updating their water accounts and paying thousands of dollars, which is very interesting. Actually, the community has responded very positively to the staff out there, informing them of occurrences where houses should be vacant, but they are not. The staff has also found that occupancy in some of the identified houses where owners have failed to obtain occupancy permits or establish a water council. For that matter, even getting permits to renovate certain projects. When squatters are identified, the information is turned over to our Sauk Village Police Department. Once the master list is approved, staff will begin to identify those vacant houses that are in arrears to the village. The master list in time will also identify other pertinent information that can be used to expedite water service, community safety. And our purpose is, there's been some proof that if we get these numbers down, that the valuation of the house will go up and the community will have the ability to actually compete with different businesses coming into. And that's why we're continuing to pursue this issue. Mr. Mayor, I think I'll just wait for the rest of my report for the new year. So it's Christmas now. That is my report.
Thank you very much. Move to Beautification Committee. Beautification Committee, there'll be no meeting during the month of December. However, on behalf of the Beautification Committee, we'd like to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a safe New Year. Move to Parks and Recs Committee, Trustee Jones.
I'd like to thank Ed. I'm not going to give your secret up, but you know why I'm thanking you. Fire department, police, as the P.L.A.N, the library, beautification committee, Carol, Linda, Jackie, I'm so sorry. They helped out, they brought it up to me, they helped out at the fire station to help with the volunteers, and they were great. I appreciate it, thank you. The volunteers for Parks and Recs, the committee, Friday night, the whole week, helped decorate the float, helped decorate the community center. I think it turned out great. It was beautiful. It really put me in the Christmas spirit, and I hope it gave the residents what they were looking for, what the residents were looking for. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And that's it.
Thank you, Trustee. Move to the Public Works, Trustee Burgess.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a couple of things. I have a presentation, but first, before I do the presentation, I just wanted to give a congratulations and a hand to the Beautification Committee as everyone walked into Village Hall today. You saw that it was lit up down the hallways. You see that they put the garnish and the stockings. I was looking to see if there was anything in mine, but it looked like they're the same. No, you're laughing, but years ago there used to be something in those stockings. I'm not going to say what it was, but it was something in it. But I just want to say thank you very much to the Beautification Committee, because I know I've seen them here several times doing the inside, the outside, and next year I think I talked to them about trying to do something on the outside on Torrance Avenue and see if we can try to find some funding for that. But irregardless of that, I'd like to give them a round of applause for what they've done. Mayor, at this time I have a presentation for the cop on top, I wanted to ask all of the members, oh, that's not working now. I wanted to ask all the members of the Police Association, could you please come up to the front? I thought this mic was working. All the members of the Police Association, could you please come up to the front? Did I say? I'm sorry, cop on top. I'm human. Anyway, we have a presentation, and we'd like to ask Sergeant Salisbury to please come up. And on behalf of the President, Jeremy, and for the members of the Police Association, we'd like to give you $1,000 towards the purchase of the children for presents for the children in need. And it is cash money, so we're going to have it locked up. But I just want to say on behalf of the Police Association, thank you guys very much. And we'd like to say thank you for doing what you're doing. Sergeant Salisbury, because what you're doing is you're going to take these, you're going to go out with the kids and shop. And we are so grateful to be part of that. We've had fundraisers, we've had guys that are there actually donating cash money to make this happen. And we pledged to you that we would give you $1,000 when this happened, and they've done that. So I just want to say thank you. I also want to say that that's not going to be the only presentation. I think Trustee Williams has some more. So Becky, I'm sure you're going to be getting some more money before Christmas. That you're going to be presenting you with some more money. So at least you can get started with this. And I think she's going to say something when it comes time for her meeting. I'm sorry, for her committee. She's going to tell you what she's going to be doing also. So don't I wouldn't go anywhere right away. I mean, if you're going to get some more money. We're having the Public Works will have a meeting here tomorrow at 7 o'clock. All invited. It'll be here. We'll probably meet in the back, but it'll still be here tomorrow at 7 o'clock. All are welcome. And I just wanted to say, everyone have a very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. May you be safe. May you enjoy your family. And may you have a good time. And please come back to us at the next year when we have our meeting. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Move to the House Mayor Governmental Committee, Trustee Gates.
That's a hard act to follow. $1,000. Okay, the Housing Committee met last week, and what I did, I feel that I've received 8 requests for another workshop for the first-time home buyers. And strangely enough, none of them live in Sauk Village. So I think that's a good sign. And I'm going to do more reaching out to try to get some more participants. And during the first part of the year, we'll have another meeting for the first-time home buyers. The second thing for intergovernmental, we've been reaching out to some of our surrounding communities and trying to find out what activities they have, what programs they have that Sauk Village residents could benefit from. So far, it's been positive, but we're doing something extra the first part of the year. We're going to do more outreach to more of our communities that surround us and find out if we can duplicate what they're doing, and we can piggyback on what they're doing, and we can do something where Sauk Village residents are included in what's going on in the south suburbs. So stand by, and you hopefully, you'll hear some good news the first part of the year about what the intergovernmental people are doing and the outreach that they've done. Along with Trustee Burgess, have a wonderful holiday.
All right, move to the Public Safety and Ordinance Review Committee, Trustee Myers.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I want to thank everyone who came out Saturday for the Santa Parade. I thought it was great. We had an awful lot of residents came out, and waved to the kids that was on the float, waved to Santa. It was great. And I especially have a thanks going out to Trustee Jones' wife. Thank you for not letting him watch the news the night before. It was chilly, but no rain. If you could have saw the face on these kids over there, that's what it's all about, people. That's what it's all about. It was great, and I think the committee did a wonderful job. There was a lot of food there, and a lot of kids. I just want to thank everybody that was involved. Thank you, sir. And second is I'm asking the clerk and the mayor to put on the agenda list for our committee meeting 4 ordinances. There will be the public comment ordinance, and education, the department head ordinance, reconnect services, basically that's making it $25 non-refundable, and a couple other things. And the last is the change in the business license, making it $100 instead of $60 because the Cook County Health Department raised our price on our ordinance says $60. We have to go to $100. That's what we're paying them for business licenses. And then the last thing, I want to wish everybody here a very, very Merry Christmas. And even though it's been beautiful the last few days, be safe. We will have some bad weather, so just be safe. And the last thing is that I'm meeting with the village administrator to go over some safety issues and some current concerns that we would like to bring up at the next Central Safety Committee. And that's all I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Neighborhood Watch Committee, Trustee Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple of things. First of all, I want to say that I did also attend Friday night decorating the community center, and together we all went in and decorated and made that room go from just a plain community center when we first walked in to a magical place where children could come and enjoy themselves. 3 Christmas trees and lights around the windows. The room was decorated very, very nice. Saturday we were at the community center as well as Saturday at the fire station. I just want to also commend, in addition to Trustee Myers, for being out there all that time, riding all over this entire village. His hands was ice cold, and I just want to thank him for his contribution that he did as well. Also, I wanted to say that we're going to be having our meeting, as we always do, with the Neighborhood Watch the second Monday at the fire station. The Neighborhood Watch will not only just have a meeting, but we're going to have our annual Christmas party. And we're going to start our meeting, our pre-meeting at 6:30, and our regular meeting will start at 7:00 p.m. We're also going to be kicking off at our meeting that we're going to have on December the 14th, our plans for Neighborhood Watch, a live play that we're going to be doing on April the 15th at Rickover School entitled Are You My Neighbor? In an effort to promote community involvement in public safety. We're going to put on a live dramatization play at Rickover, and we are casting different people in the village as well as our block club captains. We have some wonderful surprises. Some of it's going to be comedy, and you're going to be shocked at some of the things that are going to happen in the play, but it's going to be very, very influential in helping the community come together and watch each other's house, because that's what block club captains do, and that's what it's all about. And the play is a kickoff for our book bag giveaway. For the last 2 years, we've been able to pass out 250 book bags with school supplies, and the residents were very appreciative, and it's just a great program that the committee come together from Tag Day to going shopping. It's just a collaborative effort with the entire committee, but we have pledged to double that this coming school year and assemble 500 book bags. So the committee is going to be working very, very hard all year, having all kinds of fundraisers, and I've been getting phone calls, and I put it on Facebook, I've been getting inboxes, and yes, we are taking school supplies beginning effective immediately. So you can drop off school supplies if you have them either here at the Village Hall or at the McConaughey Library. And I want to say to everyone to be careful when you do open up your Christmas gifts. If you're buying TVs and games for your children and all the things that we buy for our family, be careful not to dispose of those boxes in your garbage can behind your house, because we do have people that ride around to see what you are throwing away, and it enables them to come into your house and know what they want to try to steal and vandalize. But we do encourage you to put all those boxes in a garbage bag and then put that in your garbage can. So that's just one helpful hint, and if you have any other hints, of course, you can talk with our chief or with the police department, but this is a season where everybody's not out to do the right thing, so watch your house, watch your car, protect your property, and protect your family. And with that, I want to say Merry Christmas.
Thank you, trustee. Move to budget.
Quick question.
Trustee.
What time is the play on the 15th?
The doors are going to open at 6:30, and it's going to be at 7.
Thank you.
Move to budget, finance, and community relations committee. Trustee Lee.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just to add on to one thing that Trustee Washington said, instead of throwing away those boxes, there are cardboard recycling centers. The closest one that I'm aware of is off of Calumet Avenue in Indiana by the fire department right there. It's like 213th, I think, in Calumet. That would be a good place to recycle those cardboard boxes. Instead, you can't put cardboard boxes at the one at the library. I was yelled at about that. So that one actually looks at for cardboard boxes, so you can go there, so you don't throw them away and you can help the planet. But beyond that, I just wanted to say thank you to Trustee Burgess and to the Police Association for the $1,000 donation for Shop with a Cop. Definitely, we are looking forward to that. And thank you as well to Sergeant Salisbury for her work with National Night Out and raising the $88 and then contributing the $11 for the $100. The Community Outreach Partnership Committee has been busy trying to match that $1,000 that was submitted by the Police Association. And at this time, I wanted to say thank you to some of our contributors. Thank you to the committee, who we did sell candy, and we are at a total of $606 right now from the candy. I still do have 29 bars, and there are more than 29 people in this audience right now. So if you want a candy bar, they're $1 a piece. They're right here. I can give it to you tonight. We are still raising money for Shop with a Cop. We are still asking that if there's any elected officials that would like to participate in donating to Shop with a Cop. We haven't received yet so far, but if anybody would like to provide us those funds tonight, that would be great. We are, the Public Relations Committee and the Community Outreach Partnership Committee will be meeting tomorrow to discuss the holiday events that are coming up. And I did reach out with Officer Morris, who I'm working with for Shop with a Cop, and just to kind of let everybody be aware, the original date, and I know I've said this before, but the original date was December 4th. There was some problems communicating with the school district as our liaison who was put in place had some unfortunate events occur, and he was not able to kind of keep up with communication. So at this time, I did want to say thank you to Ms. Woodley. She's a social worker at Strasburg, and while I've never personally met her, when I did reach out to the schools because I was not hearing back from the school district, she jumped right on board and she volunteered to be our school representative. And she has orchestrated everything from the school level, and she has talked to the superintendents, she reached out to the students, she's done everything, and she's been a really big help. So we are with Officer Morris. So we're hoping for a good event. We're still looking for donations, so if anybody in the audience wants to continue to donate, like I said, even if it's just the candy bars, we still have 29 candy bars, and 28, sorry. Thank you very much. And just to speak of some more people who donated, I would like to thank Kathy Trubell for her $50 donation, Ms. Heidi Parker for a $25 donation, the Ketchums for $10, and Chief Kowalski for $200. So that's a total of $891 plus $100 that Sergeant Salisbury has already told us. That's $991. So if we could sell these 28 more candy bars.
The 28 is included in this. I just don't want to get up later.
So I still need $28 more. So
I'll buy it if I have to by Friday.
Between everybody else in this audience, I really would like to match that $1,000 and then some. The more money that we raise, the more individual money that each kid will be able to use on Friday for Shop with a Cop. So we would just like for anybody whose pockets are a little fuller than they want them to be, if we could just please. Thank you, Mr. Williams. participating. And if, we will be discussing this with the committee on tomorrow, but if there's anything in excess that we cannot evenly distribute, then as we discussed before at board meetings and the committee meetings, we will be donating that to Carol's Cocoa and More or other events, in addition to what we have raised, what the committee has raised, not the $1,000 or $100 that was reserved for that. But if there's any monies that we have that cannot be evenly distributed, we will be going to toys for Carol's Cocoa and More. Thank you guys very much. I'm not going to say it's systematic, but it did. So anybody else whose pockets are a little heavier than they want it to be, feel free.
Did you notice the scribble? I'm sorry, I wrote that quickly for you. Floyd and Nadine Morgan. Okay, they're on that list, and Chief Kowalski's on that list.
I said Chief Kowalski.
I didn't hear you.
Morgan's on there.
Okay, Floyd and Nadine Morgan as well.
Thank you very much, guys.
Rosa, you said 27?
27. 9 grades, 3 kids per grade. While the community outreach partnership will be helping to chaperone, the school has promised me 2 to 3 chaperones. And last time I had spoken with Chief Kowalski and Josh, they were working on a call detail, is that what it's called? And they haven't gotten back to me yet with how many officers will be present. Miss Woodley is working on obtaining a bus, because that's what we do when we take the kids for student government day, when we take them off-site, the village buildings, they provide us a bus with the school district. And I know the village clerk already spoke with the superintendent, and she's approved it, and Miss Woodley is working on organizing that. So I will be meeting with her before the meeting tomorrow.
The bus is for the children, and the adults are responsible for them.
All right, do we have everything worked out now? Yeah.
Well, or money, we have more money. That's what we work on. But everything else I think we're good.
All right, move to reports of departments, committees, and commissions. Fire Department 911 Commission. Chief Stockbridge.
Thank you, Mayor and Board. I'd like to just take a couple of minutes to wish everyone a safe and Merry Christmas. On the subject of Christmas, when opening these gifts and the wrappings and so on, once the kids or yourself have got the wrappers off the gifts, put them in a garbage can. Before the end of the night, take the can outside. You know, if you got smokers around the house or whatever it should be, that little light could cause the fire. Also, and Trustee Washington brought up, big box items. I'm saying bust up the boxes real good, get them out in the garbage can, sealed, because people are walking around looking, especially this time of the year. All right, we had a great turnout for our pancake breakfast, and it's always a pleasure to help any committee. That's what working together means. We're still waiting on our check from the state for the new fire truck. The committee's already picked the vendor, but we can't move forward until the check is in hand. As soon as that is, I'll let the mayor and the board know. Over the past 2 weeks, the fire department responded to 26 calls, 6 vehicle accidents, 2 fire alarms, 9 medical assists, 3 CO calls, 1 structure fire, 1 lines down, 2 assists to other agencies, 1 vehicle fire. And at this time, with the pleasure of the mayor and the board, I would like to have Village Clerk Lee Williams sworn in one of our new firefighters, named Jerome.
Chief, I don't know if everyone saw, the governor signed Senate Bill 2039, so that's not a fact, but I do know that it does include a lot of 911 funds, and there's also funds for municipalities that was included in that signing of that bill. So we saw both the House passed it and the Senate passed it, and the governor signed it right away. And if you look at this bill, hopefully we're going to start seeing movement in Springfield, because this is one bill that passed all the way through Congress, both the House and the Senate, almost unanimously. So there's some major support there. If you all remember, a few weeks ago I was down in Springfield. This was one of the bills that I was down in Springfield trying to get passed, working with the IMO. So I don't know exactly if your money is tied to this one, but
Last I heard, it's $3 million.
this is what he just signed.
Some of that is tied into it.
Good.
I was talking to the state Monday. That has been up in Chicago. And go up there today. So hopefully.
And again, we've been assured that now that the governor signed it, that money should be hitting municipalities pretty quick. I know that the treasurer and the comptroller's office was just waiting for signatures, and now that we can sign. So that's a little bit of good news. That takes a little bit of relief, especially I know Mohan, he was starting to lose some hair over not getting those funds. So just start seeing a smile on his face. That's good news out of Springfield. All right, move to Administrative Services, Director Sherry Jasinski. Oh, I'm sorry. Hang on. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back for a minute. Police Department, Police Chief Kowalski. Sorry about that.
Thank you, Mayor, trustees. So for a period between the last board meeting and this, we made 28 arrests, 10 were felonies, 18 were misdemeanors. CalCom had 951 calls for service. And staying with the Trustee Jones theme of let's stay positive, with the Christmas spirit, we'll bypass some of the cases though, and you'll be able to see them online. I would like to state that we will be deploying Narcan to our police officers. Myself and another officer took a Narcan training program through the DuPage County Health Department. Narcan, for your information, is a deterrent for opiate and heroin drug overdoses. It's applied nasally. It's a nasal application. We'll be doing training. We have a policy in place. They've reported that drug overdoses now have overtaken deaths as opposed to accidents. And I know a lot of you are thinking about the ramification and civil suits or lawsuits. There is a state statute, as our legal attorney will tell you, that protects our officers from the administering Narcan. So each officer will be trained and they will have 2 doses of Narcan with them. It's a pretty simple application. And I know just in DuPage County alone, they've had 87 saves of individuals who were overdosed on heroin and opiates. So that's pretty positive. Our leads audit had come back. We had a audit from the Illinois State Police on our leads system, the law enforcement agency data system. Unfortunately, we didn't do that well, but since the time we've had the audit, now we've corrected everything. So we're on a positive track. We continue to work with the Housing Commission and Gary Holcomb and his group. And I am sad to say that we had an officer resign as of December 6th. And we also lost an officer who we were getting ready to hire for the COPS program. So I'll be asking the board for a unanimous decision to move forward with replacing Officer Howard, and we'll be starting the process of going through the applications to fulfill that grant program, the COPS grant.
All right, thank you very much. Move now to Administrative Services Director Sherry Jasinski.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Village Hall will be closed Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and New Year's Day. And code for the court call for December, we had 123 tickets. 5 were found not guilty, 2 were liable, and 116 were guilty for failure to appear. And to touch base on this blueprint program that we've been starting with the vacant list, it's really time consuming. We've been really buttoning down and we got the list pretty good. Since we started placarding some of the houses just in the last couple weeks, 22 new services came in and about 5 residents were backfilled. They've been living in the houses without a water account. We found 49 of these homes to be occupied with no water account or no occupancy. Sue has started writing tickets. The next step is to turn them over to the police department, and if they don't get a hold of us within the 5-day time frame, then we're going to have them turned over to the water department, and they're going to have to dig the water. So that's been a real successful program. We're at least getting some monies in. We got a long way. That was just half the list. We ran into 49 of them. We're about halfway done with that list. And that concludes my report. Wish the board and the mayor a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's and all the residents. Thank you.
Thank you. I have a couple of questions, Mayor. Sherry, you still haven't heard anything what's going on in the old excellent building right there on 384 in Sauk Trail?
No, they haven't contacted me yet.
Okay, because if you take a look in there, you can see somebody's doing something. And then on the second note, I know that it's been closed for, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 months. Those 2 lounges that were in the village, is there any word about any one of those? That's Levels and Wise Guys. Have you heard anything about them trying to reopen, or is it a done deal that they're not going to? If they came to you and asked you about anything like that?
I haven't heard from them. I haven't heard from them. It's been a while since I've talked to Wise Guys. They've sought legal counsel according to Mr. Hammond. I have not talked to Samuel, so I don't know where we're at with Levels yet. I do know that the state revoked their liquor license for purchasing booze outside of where they were supposed to be doing that. I don't know yet what's going to happen with that. I'm sure we'll find out soon enough.
Okay, because I just, the reason I'm looking at it is I know Wise Guys owns his building, but the other one is owned by someone else, so I'm just looking at, in the future, who's going to be taking care of those buildings, because it's starting to look like a little eyesore. That's what I was just wondering. Thank you.
All right, we go to Finance Director, Mr. Aru.
Thank you, Mayor and the board. The audit finally will be completed well before the deadline and will be reported to the various authorities. The next thing is I have billed Amalgamated Bank for our administrative fee in the amount of $193,000 that will be coming in tomorrow. That ends my report.
What TIF is that for me?
TIF number 2 and 3.
2 and 3? Question?
Trustee?
When will the audit report be available?
The audit report should be available well before the Christmas, and it should be reported well before the Christmas.
Thank you.
Should be noted that the police and fire pension boards,
They have turned in
they have turned in their audits. I met with the auditors last night to answer any additional questions they had, so took care of that part. All right, we have Sauk Village Homeland Security Agency Assistant Director Emmett Dunell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Board of Trustees. First of all, I'd like to wish you all a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Be safe this year. Over the last 2 weeks, ESDA has responded to 19 calls. The ESDA department responded to 3 fire alarms, 5 vehicle accidents, 1 control burn, 2 CO investigations, 3 school patrol, 1 unfounded structure fire, 1 power line down, 1 assist other agency, and 1 structure fire, and 1 medical line. Thank you very much. This is my report.
Thank you. Go to Human Relations Commission, Commissioner Frank Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Human Relations will meet again the first Monday in January. We're still looking for people to join, but to fill out your letters and send them in to the mayor. And we'll be welcoming you to our new committee. And on behalf of myself and the Human Relations, I would like to list of the board, the mayor, the clerk, and all the department heads. Happy Kwanzaa. Enjoy yourself, okay?
All right, we're to Housing Commission, Commissioner Holcomb.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Board. First of all, the Housing Commission will not hold a meeting for December or January. And bear with me, I've got a long report. The demolition program is moving to remove the blight of vacant properties throughout the village. To date, 7 properties have been removed, and number 8 is presently in the process, and next week, number 9 will be completed. We are in the legal process scheduling the next 10 properties. The drawdown for expenditures is and will be February 6, 2016. And the review and payment take between 60 and 90 days for reimbursement. The drawdown will cover the following expenditures: asbestos inspections, asbestos abatement, and the dumpsters, of which to date housing spent $2,785 on asbestos inspections and abatement. Village spent $3,825 on abatement. The cost of the dumpsters has not been told to date. We're working on that. Due to the large amount of debris inside the structures and illegal dumping in the backyards, the number of dumpsters has increased significantly from standard number required of 3 to 5 to anywhere from 6 to 12, bringing it to around $20,000 to $24,000. The total cost, excluding lawyer fees, comes to $2,500 to $3,000 per property, which the village had to pay for the total demolition would be between $25,000 and $30,000 per property. We started these, as stated, these are expenditures that will be reimbursed with the submission of the expenditures quarterly. As the sheriff's department's only 10 properties per phase, it is projected that we could demo around 50 properties within 2016. This is a cost that the mayor and board need to consider due to the requirement that we have to pay in advance and then be reimbursed. There are other issues that need to be considered as to expenditures on these properties. First off, the state removed future funding for our grass cutting program, and all of these vacant properties will be required to be maintained throughout the summer months. Public Works does not have the manpower, and we can work with Sheriff's Department SWAT program on a limited basis. The issue of vacant property has not been a long-standing problem, going back as many as 20 years without any action being taken when there was money available to do so. The lack of past administrations looking to the future, it has become a blight that is today. It comes down to what we do now to prevent further blight and move the village forward. Keep in mind that the Housing Commission is made up of volunteers, and we can only help by doing our part in keeping expenditures to a minimum by doing tasks the village hasn't the money or manpower to do. In closing, I request that the mayor and board in what direction and actions they wish us to proceed, as we are only an advisory group and the discussion is yours as to how we proceed. That concludes my report.
Commissioner. Mr. Mayor, for the next committee meeting, which would be in January, can we ask the Housing Commission to come to the board with a cost and with their projections and their blueprint for next year, so we can kind of find out where it would fit into the next budget, and also what we have in this budget, because it seems to be that, you know, once that in other words, the village gets reimbursed after we put the money out, so we kind of need to know what it is that they need to do and find out what we can budget it for, that we can get reimbursed. So I think that's something that we need to ask, that they can be present and have their program in hand, and we can discuss this at our next committee meeting, which will be in January. And I'm asking, can we put that on the agenda?
Let's take a look at the agenda. I mean, we have other things tonight. I already been asked to add to the agenda. So let's see where we fit it in. But definitely get to the housing authority for us. So put it on this. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Move to senior committee chairperson Rose Langston.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just want to let you know the enrollment for the Medicare Part D ended yesterday, December 7th. The senior committee's last activity day for the year will be on Friday, December 18th, from 12:30 to 3:30 p.m. Frank Williams and Steve Shimkus will be coordinating the committee's Sauk Village Open activity every Friday beginning in January. There are a variety of games available, however, seniors may bring their own games if desired. The Rummy Cup game has created quite a challenge for seniors. There is plenty of room for more challengers. Beverly Sterrett continues with the Silver Sneaker Pro fitness class, 10 o'clock and one at 11:15 every Tuesday, and welcomes more participants. The ceramic group has opening for all seniors. They meet from 8 a.m. until 12:30 p.m. on Wednesdays. Our paperback book program continues to thrive with many participants. Thank you again, Nancy Baker, for your continued donation. The next movie co-sponsor is McConaughey Library will be Santa Claus 2 with Tim Allen at the library on Monday, December 14th at 12:30. Blood pressure screening will precede the movie. Light refreshments will be served. In December, over 400,000 blood donations are needed to make patients receiving transfusion have the blood they need. Give in December and end the year with real meaning. St. James Catholic Church blood drive is this Sunday, December 13th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Didier Hall. No appointment is necessary. The Bloom Township Community Lunch is on Thursday, December 17th at Glenwood Golf Club. The theme is Christmas, harmonized to the Christmas classic with the convertibles. Advance ticket required and doors opened at 11:30. Tickets for dresses and suits for the 2016 event will be on Wednesday, December 13th, will be sold at the luncheon. For appointment and or additional information from the township, call 708-754-9400 extension 244. Senior Wheels provide affordable transportation within the township and a few medical facilities out of town. Call 708-754-8200 a day or two before making your arrangements. The Golden Agers in Jones Memorial Community Center meets on Wednesday, December 16th. There's social hour, 10 a.m., 10:30 meeting and program, lunch served at 11:30. The dues are $5 for the to be collected for 2016. Cost for luncheon is $5 for reservation. Call 708-757-5395. Leisure Timers held their Christmas party at Spermeni's last Sunday. Sunshiners will be holding their catered Christmas party this Saturday. Sauk Village Bluegrass will be celebrating Christmas with a potluck on Sunday, December 20th. Attendees are asked to bring a covered dish to share. There will be no December meeting for the senior committee. The committee which wants to extend their holiday greetings to all. Thank you. This ends my report.
Thank you very much. To the consent agenda, is there any items trustees like to remove? Okay, none, ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda. A motion, is there a second? Second. Village clerk, please call roll.
Burgess. Jones. Myers. Bates.
No.
Washington. Yes. Williams.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Moving on to item number 7. Item A, motion to approve accounts payable and disbursements from November 10th, 2015 through December 8th, 2015. Is there a motion to approve? A motion, is there a second? A motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Trustee.
What's on here that's accounts payable? Because everything on here is immediate checks. Payable means that it's to be paid. These have been paid. So how does that mean that, how is that part of accounts payable?
Per the policy that we discussed with the Budget and Finance Committee that was passed by the board, any immediate checks would have the description included attached to accounts payable. So, since this is the first time this has happened since the policy has been approved, would the board maybe suggest a different way to present immediate checks if there's no other items on accounts payable? Because the policy states that they would be itemized on accounts payable.
Trustee, if you gave consent, or someone gave consent for these immediate checks to be paid, why are we voting on something that was already, we can't recall a check. So why are we voting on, that leads into my second question. If it was, because we stated as per policy that it is an immediate check that has to be a reason for that, an emergency. What happened between last Tuesday that we had our meeting and this Tuesday that constituted some of these things to be emergency and to be placed on an immediate check approval, which means that it has to be approved by 2 of the 3 people that were listed in the policy. So if they were approved by 2 of the 3 that were listed in the policy, my question is, when were these checks paid and what's the date of these checks that were paid? I know what they're paid for. I know what they're about, but what was the date that they couldn't wait, and what was the emergency that it couldn't wait until tonight to be approved? But I still don't understand how this could be considered payable. Payable means that we have to, that we're going to pay. Already paid is already paid. So the 2 questions I have is, when will these checks become an emergency, and when were they written? What's the date that these checks were written? Because it was just a week from when we had the last meeting, and so those are the 2 questions I have.
But it appears that the majority of these are insurance, right? You've got the breakdown. See, Blue Cross Blue Shield is 1, Blue Cross Blue Shield is 2, Blue Cross Blue Shield is 3. Right? 3 for Blue Cross Blue Shield, 3 for Euclid, which is life insurance. We've got First Insurance Funding, Liability and Financing. You've got Illinois Public Risk Fund, which is, again, is insurance, and you've got some miscellaneous. We've got employees who spend money out of their pocket. 1 for mileage and training, and another 1 for hotel and training.
I'm just
we got
wondering
supplies. We got supplies that I'm sure there's probably need for through Quill, right?
For the police department.
And then, of course, the 1 for uniforms. Is that by contract?
Uniform, yeah.
No, you didn't know. This was not known last Tuesday. These insurance come every year. This insurance comes every month. We pay insurance every month.
Every month.
Okay, was this known last month that we could have said, okay, between now and next week, we need to pay this, and I need the board to okay that?
Normally the insurances are payable before the beginning of the month, but normally we will pay at the end of the month because there's a leeway.
Okay.
That we can wait on, and it will be paid at the last week of the month.
So you didn't know about this until after Tuesday?
No.
I think if we review a policy, it does state that due to the fluctuation of income, if we get some money in that we were expecting, but we didn't have at the time enough to do an accounts payable, but we could avoid a late fee, we could avoid disruption of services, something like that, that would be the reasons for the hearing.
Was that the reason for this one? Because I looked at what we have left over, we still have $700,000, so we must have got $1 million in last week. I'm just looking at what you put out there. I'm just asking. Trustee stated that the money became payable because of the money we just got in. We just paid this and we still have $700,000.
That's not what I said. It's in the policy that could be.
So that's what I'm asking.
I didn't make the determination for these hand checks, and I didn't sign off on them. What I'm saying is per policy, these items fall under why there could have been a hand check written, and it also falls under the back page of the hand checks pending the board approval. That's attached to it. So per policy, this falls.
Then maybe I'm asking the wrong question, Trustee. I thought it was the three that we talked about. Who gave the okay to pay these hand checks? And I thought you were one of them.
I am one person
right.
who is authorized to do it. Like as I've said every single time, I am an absolute last resort. If for some reason the mayor or the finance director is caught in an avalanche and something needs to be paid, then I would.
So then I'm asking you, Mohan, who gave the authorization?
No, and this board made it very clear that when it came to employees and paying benefits, everyone knew that this is something that we budgeted, this is something that we paid, and this is something that everyone said they didn't have a problem with paying this because we have to pay insurance, we have to pay our employees, we have to, you got employees paying stuff out of their pocket. When they come in and they submit the receipts and stuff, you pay them.
Mr. Mayor, you still haven't answered my question. My question was, first of all, who gave the authorization to pay the immediate checks? And number two, what happened between last Tuesday and this Tuesday that constituted this to be an emergency? Then you're right. We have insurance. We knew last week that this insurance bill was due. How come we couldn't have a special meeting? We've had special meetings for less than. How come we couldn't have special meetings and say, okay, guys, we have X amount of money that needs to be paid before next week. I need to get a determination from this board. How do you feel about doing that? That's all I'm asking. But I'm not asking about, I know this is already budgeted. I'm asking who made that determination to pay these immediate checks. And we're going back to what we had before, that it was just you and Mr. Fairman. You're writing the board off again. Because, I thought we had the policy.
In the policy, it states.
The policy.
You asked who made the authorization.
Right, and I asked who made the authorization. Who gave the authorization?
The first thing would be the board because the board approved the policy. Maybe not every member of the board, but the policy was approved and it was enacted.
Okay, so who gave it? Who wrote it?
So the second thing would be, according to policy, anything under $1,000, then the
This is 107,000.
each individual
This
item,
is
each individual item under $1,000, the finance director has the ability, if it falls under certain guidelines, he has the ability to make that determination. Anything else, if it's above that, then he would have to go to the finance director and the mayor to get written approval. So, but we discussed in the policy about insurance, payroll, things that directly related to our employees. So $107,000, you're right about that. But I'm looking at how many items? 8 items that are insurance related, and that's the bulk of your money. Your employee reimbursements are all under $1,000, which he would have the authorization to do. And then the only thing that he would needed to have authorization for is Mopeds, Quill, and Comcast business, because those are not directly employee related, and they are over $1,000. So he would need authorization for that. But the Quill, you said that's for the police department, that would be for following the policy as far as supplies needed for each individual departments. And I'm not, Comcast business for communication, I'm not sure what that
Trustee, I'm not asking for an explanation.
I'm sorry.
Can you use the mic, please?
Okay, so Comcast would have cut off the services.
Okay, I'm not asking for what, I can read. I read who gives the authorization. I'm asking who gave this authorization for this, and when did it become a emergency from 1 week? We met last Tuesday. We knew these bills were here. I'm sure they were. The money had to be there. We got $700,000 left now in the coffers that we just pulled this money out of. I'm asking what constituted this as being an emergency is what we said the reason why it would fall under that category. And second, who gave the authorization to pay these bills? You said you didn't, so obviously it had to be the mayor and the village administrator. And if that's the case, why are we here as trustees talking about voting money out? Me for one, I'm not going to vote out something that's already been paid. It's been paid, why am I voting? What am I going to clarify something that you already, someone already done? The money has been paid. This is not a payable. This is not accounts payable.
The budget finance committee already split a policy.
I know that.
This sheet, you need checks on this sheet, follow the policy. The board has approved the policy, and again, I will state, not every member on this board approved the policy, but the majority of the board did approve the policy. The finance director acted within that policy, so everything on here is within that. And you're right, trustee, if only 3 people are authorized to give approval, I'm stating that I did it.
So then that answers my question on the first one. That answered my question. That's the first one. My second question was, when did it become an emergency and I want to know when these checks were written. Between last Tuesday and this Tuesday, I want to know when they were written and when did it become an emergency that no one between the mayor and the village manager and the finance director knew that this was an emergency last Tuesday. These bills didn't just come yesterday and we're going to pay them right now. These are bills that we needed to pay in the past, and I understand that. When did it become an emergency? And if you knew it wasn't an emergency then we're planning wrong. We're doing piss poor planning. If we don't have the money there to pay them. But to have anyone other than this board to at least be involved in paying this type of money, why are we having these meetings and why is the board supposed to be, which they are supposed to be, the overseers of the money in the village? Because the mayor has plausible deniability when it comes to the money in the village. He doesn't vote.
All right,
so I'm just kind of asking the question, Mayor. I want my question answered.
Trustee, you've covered this more than 3 times.
No, I want my question.
So
minutes. I want my question answered.
You're going to have to get your question answered.
Excuse me?
Again,
I didn't hear you, Mayor. What you said? I didn't hear you. What'd you say? Okay, go ahead.
Can't hear you either.
So the bills that were paid by policy. If you looked at it, there's $95,000 just worth of insurance costs. It comes up to about $95,000. The Comcast, which was being threatened to be shut off, that was another $5,000. We were at $99,000. So again, between employees' costs and able to get supplies and things like that, you have about $7,000. So you looked at $107,000, about a little over $99,000 of that. Again, things that needed to be paid right now. The payments were by the policy, which is board approved. And again, paying the bills, making sure that we keep the lights on, making sure that we have Comcast, which is very important for our police department, and so that we can continue running services and providing safe services for our employees, for our residents. Again, everything that was paid by policy.
When were the checks written and when did you know that this was due?
Well, I have to get that answer for you.
I'm asking that question now. When were you signed the checks?
Sure, trustee, I think
When were the checks written?
I think it might be a little out of order to expect that Mohan can give you a date.
No, I'm asking the mayor.
And I understand that. He signed the check, he
Yes.
created the checks.
No, he didn't, but he signed it.
Okay, so to the amount of things that get signed in the village, I think it would be a little out of order to expect for him to remember a date.
But this is
What
important.
I'm saying is, although this is not part of the policy that was approved by this board, would the finance director be able to submit the date of line 2 is that page that we did to attach the checks. That will give the date of the check signed as well as who signed it, so that both the trustee Burgess's questions will be asked in the future will be asked. Because again, I know that that's not in their policy, but to make sure that each trustee has as much information as they need, we can add that.
And I thank you very much, trustee, but this is, everybody thinks that this is a problem or this is petty. It's not petty when it comes to your dollar, just like I talked about my money when I have to raise my taxes. It's not petty. People want to know where your dollar's going. They want to know how it's being spent. Not just that there are a couple people in the back room say, okay, let's go ahead and pay this right here, we don't pay that. We need to have accountability.
Are you saying the insurance?
I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Are you saying the insurance should have been paid?
I'm sorry, I was.
Are you saying the insurance should have been paid?
I'm sorry, Mayor, I was still talking.
Okay,
Okay, but you asked me to respect your, and I'm asking you to do the same. I'm asking you to do the same. That's what, you've been a trustee longer than I have. You know what the trustees' jobs are. You know what they're supposed to do.
And the board said they had no problem with
No, the board had no problem. If it's done right, Mayor,
said they were
if it is done,
there
don't
was
bring,
no problems with getting insurance and benefits.
don't come
And
one week.
$95,000 of that was benefits and insurance.
And where was the emergency that you didn't know last week? You didn't know this last Tuesday that we had to pay this money? It all came just in 6 days?
So you're saying
I'm saying that we should have been told about this last week so we can discuss it and say, okay. But you're always circumventing this board. You're coming up with policy to circumvent these trustees and this board. And I'm about tired of it. This is not where I got elected. If I didn't get elected to be nobody's scam. This board should at least find out what's going on before we do it. Don't come and tell me after the fact that we paid this and let's move on because this is what it is budgeted for. It's budgeted for a lot of things, but at least let this board know and give them a chance to at least have input in what it is that you guys are doing. But they have two people to say, okay, well, we need to pay. Who picks and chooses what needs to be paid and when does it need to be done?
So
that's all I'm asking.
So
I'm asking.
Don't pay the employees.
No, I didn't. Now you're putting words in my mouth. You can say all you want. You're putting words in my mouth. I said what I said. You didn't put words. You call for what vote? For accounts payable? That's not accounts payable. I said there is no accounts payable. This is not an accounts payable.
Myers? Tiggs?
No.
Washington? Yes. Williams?
No. Yes.
I'd like to know how can you vote on something already been paid? I don't understand why you can't even take a vote on an entity that was already been paid. Please explain that to me from the trustees that voted. Please explain to me from the trustees that voted yes. How can you vote yes on something that was already paid?
Trustee, you're on order. Call for a motion to approve a resolution of the Village of Sauk, Village, Cook and Will counties requiring the Cook County's Clerk's Office to apply for evaluated loss of cost factor of 2015 tax levy. Is there a motion to approve? Got a motion, is there a second? Got a motion, and a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call roll.
Myers? Tiggs?
No.
Washington? Yes. Williams? Yes. Burgess?
No.
Jones?
No.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes. Item C.
But now, did you tell everybody you just raised the tax to 7%? Did you say that? Did you tell everybody that you just raised the tax to 7%?
That's not true.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. But you want to say something?
Point of order. Point of order. Item C, an ordinance for the levy and assessment of taxes for the 2015-2016 fiscal year for the Village of Sauk, Village, counties of Cook and Will. Is there a motion to approve? Got a motion, is there a second? Got a motion, a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call roll.
No.
Washington? Yes. Williams? Burgess?
No.
Jones?
No.
Myers? Yes. Mr. Mayor?
Yes, motion carries. Item D, motion to approve an ordinance to allow participation at board meetings by use of electronic devices. Is there a motion to approve? Got a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Got a motion, a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call roll.
Washington? Yes. Williams? Yes.
No.
Jones.
No.
Myers. Tate.
No.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, motion carries. Move on to number 8, miscellaneous comments from the mayor and board of trustees. Trustee Lang. Yes.
First of all, I just wanted to let the department heads know, as you may have seen, I did pass out the annual cookies that I give to the elected officials and to the department heads. I did pass out to the elected officials and the vendors who we will not be seeing, but I just really couldn't think about dropping off department cookies on December 8th. So the village clerk and I will pass by to your departments and pass off your cookies like we do every year. It's just, I'm not totally in the holiday spirit yet. And secondly, I know that many people have already wished a Merry Christmas, but I would like to say Hanukkah did start yesterday, so Happy Hanukkah for those who observe. Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year, and I hope that everybody does just enjoy their holiday season. Also, I just wanted to say a couple things. I would encourage the board to review the document that's labeled accounts payable. And if there seems to be some where you can provide any instance where it violates the policy, please provide that, because it was stated that it's the trustee's job to look at the money and things like that, which is very true, but it's also a trustee's job to follow policy. And once policy's been put into place, we need to follow a policy. And lastly, I would just like to thank the trustees and the mayor who did pass the item 7D, because I was the one that promoted that. I was the one that asked for that to be on there, and I'm not sure why any member would vote no, but we talked about a lot of things being personal, and this is violating just me, and I wanted this and I can't have it. And since I should grow up, that's funny. Since I was the one that suggested this, and since I'm the one that stated why I needed to enact this, I'm just going to state that I take it personal that there were votes against it. I don't know which part I take personal. The fact that anybody would object to me calling into a meeting because I will be giving birth in 8 weeks, or the fact that I'm suggesting that anybody should be able to call in to serve in their political status while they're sick, or while they're dealing with a family situation, or while they're at work. And I would offer anybody up here to not utilize that and to not participate in the political process if they choose to not do that. But as Trustee Burgess said, we have responsibilities, and I don't think that becoming a mother deflates this responsibility that I have here. So again, we talk about things being personal. I'm taking this personal, especially since it's been on Facebook, that I wanted this for my personal reasons, and I'm trying to start a civil war and all these things. I would just like to recommend that everybody really look at the definition of a civil war and really look at how things can be used as propaganda to create things like that. Because seriously, we want to talk about a civil war in the holiday season because somebody's talking about the use of a building, or somebody wants to attend a meeting electronically. There's a lot of things happening in this world right now that are bigger than Sauk Village and that are bigger than those two items. And you should be ashamed of yourself for saying that those things would cause a civil war.
Trustee Myers.
Just a couple things. One, we spent quite a bit of argument for tonight over some things that really shouldn't have been. We had, everybody knew this living assessment tax thing. We all knew it was coming. Every one of us up on this board knew it was coming. And if we don't move with it, it's going to hurt us 3 times more than what the bonds we're in now. But we had to move with it. We had to move with Cook County and see what it can help us out, which I think it will. And the other one is the accounts payable. I see there's a problem with the policy. We need Ms. Williams and I need to sit down with the committee and tighten it up a little bit. Because I have to agree there, one or two items here that I don't understand why it's an emergency, but I have a plan to meet with the finance director and find out why they declared it as an emergency. If it's just cause, find out if the rest of the board members know why he declared it an emergency, and some of those I need to find out. With that, again, you guys have a good holiday.
A couple of things I'd like to, been beating around the bush with Sauk Village Citizens for Public Awareness and the Senior Committee. We had said last week that we were going to let both of those groups appear before the board and address their concerns or their issues so that it could be resolved. That did not happen. It would be important that the board heard both sides of that argument, and that has yet to occur. Someone here probably knows a couple of weeks ago, I'm changing the subject, on Sauk Trail in Merrill, that's an area that's been flooding for over a year. There was an accident a couple of weeks ago, and a couple of those residents have been in here and asked that the problem with the flooding or whatever's going on over there be taken care of. And I'm concerned that Sauk Village is going to find itself in a legal battle for not maintaining our infrastructure where water is dripping and it freezes and people have accidents. Just a passing comment. Mr. McGrath, please don't leave. I know you're the mayor's attorney.
That's right.
I am the one, as the clerk referred to, that said that the mayor and his attorney were liars. So everybody knows. I don't want the mayor to, or anyone else to misrepresent what I said. I am the one that said it, and I stand by it. So, Mr. McGrath left anyway, that's good. So we all know that. I have sat on many committees, boards, advisory councils, and I have never seen the amount of disrespect that I see now. I see white women disrespected, black women disrespected, handicapped white women disrespected, Hispanic white women disrespected, black males disrespected, senior citizens disrespected. Where are we going when you are disrespected to the extent that I have seen? There are only a few more protected classes, just a few, that have not been disrespected during these meetings. So please come, because you're going to get your turn to be disrespected. Thank you.
Well, I'm gonna stand with what I said earlier about, it just feels that a lot of things that's coming across from this board is targeted towards suppressing the voice of the residents. And I don't know, it just seems so abrupt to just change so many things at one time for no reason at all. Only to suppress the voice of the residents. All of changing policies and everything is to make it harder for the residents to enjoy living here in Sauk Village. We continue this, we're gonna run all the volunteers away, we're gonna run all the residents away, and then we left with what? Paying more taxes because we got less people? Have a happy holiday. Enjoy yourself. Be safe.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just want to remind everybody again that if you want to be a block club captain, or if you know someone on your block that would like to be a a Black Club captain, you can get in contact with us and let us know. You know, Black Club captains start with very serious service on their block. I have people that have called me from different areas in the village, and I'm not going to name any particular area, where there have been some things going on, and they've been able to call the police and actually save lives. There is one example that I will give. There's a family whose home was potentially being invaded, and their neighbor across the street saw someone around their bushes breaking through their window, and they called 911. That whole family was at home, and because they made that phone call, they were able to possibly save a whole family's life. So I do take very seriously watching out for the blocks and watching out for my neighbors on my block. I want to thank all of the Block Club captains that drive around this village at night. Some drive around at midnight, different times of the day, to just watch in different areas just to see what's going on. I have quite a few Block Club captains that's in the audience tonight, and I thank you for your service all year long, and we're going to celebrate you and for your hard work that you've done this coming Monday at our Neighborhood Watch meeting. And that concludes my report.
Yes, thank you. I forgot to make an announcement. There's a church out here, Grace United Church. I don't know if everyone knows where that's located, but they are giving away 150 coats, hats, and gloves to all 3 schools out here in Sauk Village, Rickover, Wagner, and Strasburg. They will be delivered, and the schools did submit the children that needed these coats, and they will be delivered December 18th. I think that's a gracious, they've done this last year. This year they're giving 150 coats. That's 150 kids that will have a coat, a hat, coats, hats, and gloves. On another note, the reason why I talked about the tax levies and I asked to have it discussed at great length, it's not because I didn't want the money to be, I wanted to have something in place that when we do get this extra revenue, that we utilize it for something that's earmarked, and I would like to see it earmarked for something that's going to be structure-wise for the village, something that's going to help the infrastructure. For it to be, not for it to be allocated for all different items. We're talking $200,000. We can use that for a lot of different things that I even proposed, that I even asked this board to do. You know, a 50-50 for sidewalks, something. Because we're not going to get CDBG grant money this year. So therefore, we need to at least earmark this money for something. And since it wasn't earmarked, yes, I was against it. Because I believe that doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result, is a sign of craziness. So I'm not going to sit up and just keep feeding money to something where someone else other than myself can sit there and say, well, we should use it for this and that. And as just noted tonight, that we can spend it on whatever 2 people feel that they want to spend it on. I just wanted that money, especially the lost money, that we've never applied for in the last 20-some years, to at least be set aside, to be earmarked for something other than what we do day to day, because this is some money that we have not gotten in 20 years, if we do get it. But for us to vote on it, now it gives the board the right to apply for a levy, to levy you an extra 7%. That's earmarked for something that I couldn't even understand what it meant. I mean, it shows that credit here and debit there, but I wanted earmarked for this. That's why I asked how much it was, but that wasn't taken care of, and that's why I argued back and forth about that. Secondly, accounts payable. Accounts payable means payable. That means this money due. Not money spent, not money gone, not money that's already been paid for. I'm not against anything when it comes to trying to do the betterment of this village or pay our bills. I'm just asking to be included in it. That's what I was elected for, so I can be able to go back and tell people what we spent the money on, not, or I don't know, or who authorized this. I still didn't get that answer. I don't know what's going to happen with that. I'm pretty sure to see who, why did this all of a sudden, because it was supposed to be, we were supposed to know why this is an emergency. In 1 week, maybe it constituted an emergency, but if you knew back in November or October that you're going to get put out in December, it's not an emergency in January. It's an action. You already know that you did not pay this back in October. So when it comes time for them to knock on your door in January, you knew it was coming. So you're supposed to prepare. That's what we're supposed to do. And we're supposed to do this as a board, prepare so we don't have shortcomings. If the money's not there, the money's not there. Fine. That's what we have. That's what we have other things that we have other ways to do that. But if you know that it's due, then we should at least discuss it. Not make it an emergency, because when you make an emergency, now you don't include the rest of the board.
That's right.
And that's all I have to say. Everyone have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thank you.
All righty. I'm going to try to get to this hopefully without any disruptions, since I was nice and quiet and let trustees talk. Hopefully we won't have a recurrence like we had last week, but first of all, let's talk about the tax levy. The tax levy was an application we're applying for lost revenue. We show that we've never received in the last, I don't know, more than almost 10 years, we've never received 100%. We've always received right around 90, somewhere between 90 and 95%. This is an application we're applying for additional 7%, which doesn't mean we're going to receive 7%. This is so that we can continue providing services for you, the residents. So even with the increase of the 7%, if we even got 7%, we still would not receive 100% of the tax levy. So, you know, when everyone says you're paying more, you're not really paying more because there's already a tax levy at 100%, which we already know is we're not going to receive 100%. We'll receive about 90%. And then we turn around and we're applying for an additional 7%, up to 7%. So we'll make sure we're very clear on that, because I know it's not very clear. There is no extra revenue. This money is earmarked, no matter what someone may say. The money that's being received for tax levy, it goes to the funds it's allocated to. It's automatically by state. He has a formula, the finance director has a formula on if we receive what percentage. Based off that percentages of that has to go into those funds. There's 13 different funds. I think out of 13, there's 2 or 3 that we don't put money into, which the finance director follows by the law what he's supposed to do. The money is earmarked. So if anyone tells you it's not, they don't know what they're talking about. Remember, no one ever wants to raise taxes or do a tax levy. However, it's so that we can provide services for the residents. It's so we can plow your streets. It's so we can continue making sure you have police services. So you can continue having fire service, continue having public works out there. You know, we talked about repairing roads and things like that. So the tax levies, as the cost of living increases, and municipality must raise our taxes, so we can continue providing services to you, the residents. Let's look at the policy for paying bills and accounts payable. The accounts payable was followed. The policy was followed that the board approved. Now, the ones that are up here making the loudest noise, they did not approve the policy. Okay? Now listen. So the policy was followed, and what you probably haven't heard tonight is the trustees have had the accounts payable in their boxes since last Friday. They knew what was being paid last Friday. They could have went and talked to the finance director, but they decided to bring their soapbox out here tonight and make a scene. Okay? They've had this since last Friday. Was it 4 days? Friday was in their boxes. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It was 5 days they've had this information. And now they want to make a big scene about it. Think about the thing was brought up about the water leak on Sauk Trail. Well, that's being addressed. We had to bring in a company to go in there and do a dig with something that our water department could not do. So they are making the repair. I don't know if they got the repair finished this week. They had to put in some special valves so that our water department could go in there and fix that leak. So hopefully within the next week or two we'll see that disappear. And if you can make sure you fill me in on that one, know what's going on. The other thing too is you hear people, we've heard tonight that people are not treated right. I tell you, when it comes to this position, it's the mayor's responsibility to hold order and decorum. Let me tell you something, it comes from the top. And there's ones on this board who are sitting at the top who are causing problems in this meeting and trying to disrupt the meetings and not have order and decorum. My job as mayor, again, my job as mayor is to keep order and decorum, to keep the meetings moving in an orderly fashion. And that's what I'm supposed to do. Now, there's policies in place. You know, we saw tonight, people come to the podium, they knew they had 3 minutes, they refused to leave. Again, order and decorum. If they refuse to leave, we have to have them removed, okay? It's no different if you go downstate to your state capitol. I'd like to see someone go down to the Congress, to the House or to the Senate floor, walk up to the podium, and tell the Speaker of the House, you refuse to move. You would have more than 2 sergeant of arms grab you by the arms and drag you out of the chambers, okay? So, keeping order and decorum is something that I am supposed to be doing, and this is something that we work very hard to do. And when you don't have support from the people sitting up here, it even makes it even more hard. So, order and decorum, look it up, and what the responsibilities of the mayor is. And again, you're not always the most well-liked person, because you may not like what the answer is, you may not like because you don't receive an answer, but the fact is, we're supposed to run these meetings in order. Now, the last thing is, again, we can see the disrespect from the people in the audience, and also the disrespect from people in this. All right, so with that said, again, I already said earlier, but I'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and again, this is the last meeting for the month. Thank you very much. That's a motion to adjourn. Is there a second? Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Meeting adjourned.